wondered why your cold emails aren't getting replies or even delivered anymore? I could tell you why. I'm Alexander Wong, CEO of Dulce, and we help B2B marketing agencies average 20 plus sales opportunities in 8 to 12 weeks per month with AI omni-channel outreach. And today I'm going to show you how cold email has changed and exactly how to succeed in 2026. So stick with me because this is the cutting edge system I've developed that I use with my own Outbound as well as all of our high ticket clients outbound as well. And this has allowed me to book 98 plus meetings in 30 days, month over month for my agency. So let's get into it. So the very first thing that I just want to address by going into this whole cycle of cold email and things of that nature is going to be personalization. We've always talked about it. Everyone knows it. And similar to how voice AI has come and gone in terms of selling it as its own service, same thing here for personalization. As fast as it came here with Clay, instantly updates, all these different providers and tools like that, as fast as it's come, as fast as it went. So just to preface this by saying personalization is not an option anymore. It's still going to be your ticket in 2026. However, it's not going to be the slapping of a first name in the subject line or saying a company name or some LinkedIn post they posted years ago or that they got funded or something like that because no one really cares. It's the truth. And the thing is that things have changed nowadays where it's gotten worse to mention something like that because people just automatically now understand that, all right, well, they're saying, hey, Alex, I saw you guys have 52 different databases. Use this. It's like, I know you're using AI, and I know it sucks. And honestly, it just leads to a quicker ignore than anything. So what is it really about? Well, it's about knowing your prospect's world so well that they think you're reading your mind. And I seriously mean it by you want to position it in their shoes. How are they going to read this email? And I just made if you follow my other channel, we made an Instagram reel about this. It's about statistically the odds you are at. And I will take this for example. Just one of my databases, which is clutch.co. You've heard me talk about it before. One of my databases has 121,000 digital marketing agencies. Let's assume 25% of them are running cold outreach. So that's 30,000 into 250. Now, if they were to buy 100 email accounts, let's say, and they want to send 20 per day per account, that's going to be 2,000 emails. So I want you to do the sheer math. If these companies are sending 2,000 emails a day, what does this leave you with right here? See 3 zeros, 3 digits? 60.5 million cold emails going out on a daily just in the marketing agencies, right? That's just an example, or how much they're sending out. But the point that I'm trying to make is how are you going to stand out from everybody else? Because guess what? You have to be creative. It's why I've really stepped away from using AI to write the scripts. Because guess what? It's just that you're falling into this crowd of everybody and you're not getting past that barrier. So once again, it's about doubling down on those specific pain points without overdoing it. So if you're not personalized at this level, like I said, you're just noise in a crowded inbox. So let's talk about how you get there. So first things first is going to be to leverage multi-source data. So start using tools like Disco-like or Clay to scrape deep data like events, company news, or tech that they use, right? Again, with a script, you want to start off with noticing that they're investing in something. This is why it's always statistically easier if, let's say, you're an agency that does paid ads, it's easier to close a deal with somebody who runs paid ads rather than someone who hasn't ran ads at all. It's because they're already aware of this investment and what it could bring to their business. So for example, what I'd actually use it for instead is to pull competitors, sales departments, or maybe certain investment signals like in tools and tech to craft messages that hit hard, right? Something that just says like, hey, I noticed you guys are investing in this, without it being like, hey, Alexander, I saw your YouTube video on how to make a cold traffic offer in 2026. That was some pretty incredible stuff, man. I just know it, and you know it too. The second most important thing is you want to target specific pain points. Now, once again, this is the biggest struggle I see people make. And I'll talk about, like, what is it that they actually suffer and think from? Now, I'll tell you the worst thing you could do, and that's think from an agency mind, an agency glasses. We talk about it a lot with our marketing terms and things like that. Like, for example, if you ever reach out to a Shopify brand, right, they know about conversion rate. But once you start leading with, cost per acquisition, things like that, click-through rate, all blah, 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 they're just like, I don't really care at that point, right? Same thing for roofing companies. You talk about, having an dialed-in lead system where you could do this, and this SEO to get more business. But the problem is they're not really thinking about that. They're not thinking about how to get to #1 in Google. They're not really thinking about how they could fix their cold emails or make it better. You know what I mean? What they're really thinking about is how to get more money, which is what? Get more business, get more clients, get more sales, grow, save more time, something of that nature, right? Something that just showcases that this is what they are mainly focused on. And you want to always go after what they want rather than what they need, because that's how you basically you're able to separate yourself from that crowd of individuals. Because again, these people aren't necessarily thinking about that, right? So for our clients, I don't even talk about cold email. Heck, in these sales calls, I don't even talk about cold email at all either, right? It's all about where are you right now, where do you want to be, and how can we get you there? That's it. That's all that matters here. So when we target specific pain points, right? So if they're struggling to put together stuff with like Clay or Instantly, right? I could call them out on that issue and say in a cold email, this was our best performer for a while. Could I build you a list of 1,000 free leads similar to case study? That's it. That was the whole email. And then I added a PS line, said the reason it's for free, it's because we know we could deliver results for you and want you to see it firsthand, right? So just to showcase to you that basically you're able to really get past this barrier of what do you think that they care about versus what do they really care about? And the best thing you could do is market research, right? And I've talked to agencies who've been in business for 40 years and don't really even know the answers to this. It's hard because times have changed, right? It's not so much word of mouth and referral anymore. So how do you go about this? I mean, one of my best things is not lying per se, but I get either somebody in school or I get myself and I just say, hey, like I'm going to XYZ college up the road from you and I am running a business development project for my class. And if you have like 5 minutes, I have like a mock company that I made and I just wanted to ask you a couple insights on if you find this is valuable or what is it that you really care about. I promise you, I've dialed up people and it's saved me from launching horrendous campaigns. And it's just a little bit of work. And nowadays, again, with AI and everything, no one wants to put in a little bit of work. So to stand out here, right, call that out. Personalization angles. You want to run A and B tests always because there's always some way you can improve, right? Now, especially with personalized lines, if you want to mention a specific tool versus a recent company milestone, we've seen, 3 to 5% reply rate bumps by just testing which pain resonated the most. And like I said, it's all about getting to that clear answer. And once these results come in, you just double down on the winners. I had a campaign that launched not even 1,000 emails per variant. It was a 3-step A sequence had 3 different offers on how we're going to approach high-ticket Shopify brands. So one was a Loom video. The other one was like an idea post, and the other one was basically a direct offer. And immediately off the bat, with around 700 emails sent, step 1 had 6 interested, the other 2 had 1. So I immediately shut off step 1, 2, and step 1, 3. And 1 is knocking it out the park right now. I think we've contacted 3,000 people. We're almost breaking through 30 positive replies. So with that being said, you just, again, want to double down with a winner. Once you have clear one coming the door, got to roll with it. But always keep in mind copy fatigue. Because don't expect you run this for 8 months straight to the same target audience and then it doesn't work. And then you're scrambling, wondering why. Avoid generic fluff. Like I said, stop calling out stuff that they don't actually care about, right? Don't waste your space. Well, I saw your website. I saw you guys do X, Y, and Z. My philosophy always, not even just in lead gen and growth partnerships, but just in business in general, is that simplicity will always be complexity. So just cut to the chase with a tailored hook. And if it doesn't scream this is for you, rewrite it. Point number 2 to make this successful is to build a no-brainer offer with tangible value. I keep saying this over and over and over. Like when you guys create a cold traffic offer, and you've seen me, I'm posting a ton of videos about it right now, is that cold traffic has never heard of you before, doesn't know what they need, what you have, and doesn't trust you. So how can you convey a message to answer those 3 points that, once again, out of, 121,000 makes you different than all of them, right? That's why when I began this video, and I'm always a very caring and honest guy, I'll tell you straight up what it is. That's why I lead with, we help B2B marketing agencies average 20 new sales opportunities per month in 8 to 12 weeks with AI omni-channel outreach. In your head, you get to understand, who is it for? It's for B2B marketing agencies. And if I want to get deeper, I could say influencer, I could say video production, I could say growth agencies and SEO and paid ads, things like that. And out of those people, right, how do we get from that to where they want to be? Well, people always want to grow and people want to scale. 20 new sales opportunities, it's a realistic number, and it's right on the board with what most people want. I have some clients who want 5 meetings a month. I have some clients who want 60, It all just depends on the scale and where you want to be and what the plan is overall. That's why I always ask people, what's ultimately the goal? Some people just want a little agency as a side hustle. Some people want to make, 20, 30K a month and be happy. Some people want to make, 100, 200K a month, right? So it all just, is within that range. So with that being said, how do you now take this to go from where you are right now to where you want to be? and visualize it so a fourth grader can understand. So out of 20 meetings, you can understand that, all right, let's say I close 25%. 25% turns into 5 deals. And if you're charging $5K a month, 5 times 5 is $25K. How long does it take to get there? 2 to 3 months. It's very easily understood. How? AI omnichannel outreach. Okay, well, what is that exactly? You notice I don't say like cold email or cold email, LinkedIn, and voice AI, because omnichannel outreach is like very easily understood. Like, okay, I know what AI is. I know what omnichannel means, but what does it actually mean? And that's what piques the curiosity. Curiosity into trust, into what value you can deliver. And I promise you, this will do 80% of your heavy lifting if you just focus on this one thing. And I keep saying it over and over and over, and I teach everybody, but no one actually does it. So you want to focus on a strategy for quantifiable results, right? So highlight how you've arrived at realistic hard numbers. So for example, one of my clients got 25K, basically doubled his company's revenue in 3 weeks from working with us. Prospects need proof, not promises. So expose the strategy used to get there, because everybody could say something in the world. I could tell you we generated our clients $1 million revenue last year, which is true. It could be 500K. It could be 2 million. You know, whatever. Doesn't really matter. What matters to somebody who, once again, has never heard of you before is by understanding how it is that you got there. How'd you do it? All right? Then you want to showcase for that in a first-person view. Like, all right, for you, it's going to be these 4 steps to get you from going from inconsistent word-of-mouth growth to a sustainable 20-plus meeting per month acquisition system. Just like that. So with this, same philosophy goes into the offer as we did before in the personalization, is to solve a specific pain, right? So a lot of people can't close outbound deals with inbound tactics. So maybe I want to lead with, I develop a system that could contact 2,000 plus people in your ICP a day with omnichannel outreach, right? You want to take it straight from what it is that they want, all right? So for this, maybe you want to coach on how to close cold deals, right? If they need the system, you go with the system. So many different ways to go about it. If you don't have a risk reversal, add a risk reversal. Listen, for cold traffic, people always want the risk to be on you. And as a business owner, that is a risky thing to do. So perhaps you meet them in the middle ground, find like a proof of concept stage, or you take all the risk yourself. That's up to you. We typically do like a proof of concept phase where if somebody, is our back card pocket trick, we got, all right, we'll run a proof of concept for you. Let's do 3 months for 1 month. You get the results, and then we can discuss yearly after that. So now you put the risk on both parties to perform, right? I'm still covered. After 3 months, now I get a chance to prove myself. And once it works, now I could push for an annual contract. And then I could tell them, hey, instead of paying me $4K a month for 12 months for the yearly, which is $48K, I'll cut you a deal 40 right now if you just want to pay it up front. The amount of opportunity you could get from that after you've already proven yourself is just flawless. So push for transparency. Once again, just be transparent, be clear, and offer a low risk entry if you want to get it. Maybe it's 1,000 free leads, right? Something to mitigate the risk and also increase the perception of likelihood of success. Now you want to, again, keep it simple. Like I said, simplicity beat complexity every time. So don't overcomplicate it with jargon. If it's industry based, like dentists and doctors don't use the word leads so much. They would rather use patients. So that would be how you would lead that. But ultimately, we get you 20 meetings in 8 weeks. Clear, direct, done. It makes sense. By the way, if you're a B2B service-based business owner and you're tired of trying to figure this out alone, okay, you want somebody to manage this for you and build out an offer so you can actually have clarity on what you use Outbound and market for, I'm happy to jump on a call with you. At Dulce, we handle this entire process. So the system, campaigns, funnels, cold sales. So all you got to do is just adapt and learn and be able to fit right in with the process. And these are the same systems that have grown my agency to $500K a year and revenue and closed over $1 million for our clients. So click the link below, book a quick chat, and let's see if we're a good fit. Now, point 3 is going to be optimizing deliverability. So this is the technical aspect of it. I've talked about this time and time again in videos, but once again, I'll keep reiterating it just so you guys get this nailed down. Google and Outlook are battling down harder than ever, right? I'm sure you've seen so many videos pop up. Even me, I made a video on Google, and I've seen campaigns tank because of one wrong move, right? Maybe you forgot Spintax, maybe your domains weren't set up, maybe your records weren't right, maybe your volume was incorrect, something of nature. And we've boosted our reply rates. This is why we always average, like 4 to 8% rather than the standard 2. Just by using strategic strategies like domain masking, right? And you can't afford to land in spam now in day and age. And I'm very lucky, I haven't really had to think about spam in almost going on 2 years now because we've had this dialed in since day one. So just some examples of what you can do to help prevent that from happening. use domain masking. It's a concept. You could use a tool called Email Guard if you're an agency. Ignition, go down below, sign up for a trial, and you get a 15% discount when you join for life. It hides your redirect to avoid spam filters, so your secondary domains get to mirror your main site without changing URL, so the Google bots won't catch on. And if you're averaging 2% reply rates, then 0.5% is a 25% boost. So keep that in mind. Limit volume per inbox. I like to stick to 10 to 15 emails. Right now I'm keeping it on the safe side of 10. 30 to 50, like the old days, will send you to the gulag of Google faster than anything. And you don't want to overload these spam filters, because then guess what? Then you have to buy new accounts. And if they don't get fixed, you have to buy new domains, and it's just a bunch of wasted money. So spread your volume across a lot of inboxes, right? Sometimes people get shocked when I tell them that I have over 10,000 inboxes at my disposal. I'm like, why do you have 10,000 email accounts? Because guess what? We need to have any case scenario, or if something does get burned, you swap it out. Call it a day. All right? I'm testing something new. I'll let you guys in on and off sending. So if a client has 100 inboxes, I might use 50. The next month, use 50. The next month after that, switch and go back and forth between the two to protect deliverability. You'll probably see a video on that in the future. I got to go figure that out for myself and how I want to do that, but just want to let you know that's something that we got in store. Warm up domains. Like I said, you have to warm up your domains for at least 2 weeks after you're purchasing your email accounts. The longer, the better. So if you can wait, 30 to 60 days, that'd be great. If you got to send immediately, then 2 weeks is kind of your number there. Avoid spam triggers. So use Email Guard spam checker to find spam. Like I said, we're hitting, the 4 to 8% reply rate range in generic copy for some certain individuals just because of this spam checker tool. So check it out all here. Once again, get a good discount in the description. Spintax your copy as well. If you don't know what spintaxing is, it's short for spinning syntax. So what it does is it ultimately changes your wording with different words that mean the same thing at the whole prompt level. So when each individual gets a message, most cold email tools handle this, like Smartly, Instantly, Email Bison, and things like that. Hey, hi, hello. If I sent it to 3 people, one person would get hey, John. Second person would get hi, John. Third person would get hello, John, assuming their name was all John. But it keeps it randomized for each person who receives it. So Google and Outlook don't see you sending the same copy to everybody else. Clean emails. So no matter if a database claims they have good data, always run verification on your emails. This helps eliminate the chance for bounces due to just how life is, A lot of these databases update monthly, or quarterly is even more scarier, but monthly, and things happen. People get hired, people get fired, people get promoted, people die, move on, whatever the case is. So use a tool like Million Verifier for fast and cheap verification. If you need catch-all, use Lead Magic. They're very good as well. All right, so how are we now going to put this all into motion? We're going to use our omni-channel outreach for maximum reach. So nowadays, cold email won't cut it alone in 2026. You can get by. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying it doesn't work. But I'm just saying, if you want to have the best results, and if you're running a business, I assume you want the best of everything, you want to have this approach dialed in. So this is where we use omni-channel outreach to hit our interested prospects. And the reason why this is because I never understood what a statistic was to book 20% of interested. So if you had 5 interested people, one of them would become a meeting. Why not give yourself the opportunity to capture up to 60 to 80% of those people, 3 to 4 meetings per 5. So here at Dulce, we've used email, LinkedIn, SMS, direct mail, and voice AI to turn these cold prospects into book meetings, boosting our conversion odds by 3 to 4x. And it's about being everywhere your ICP is. If I'm not on email that minute that you respond back and then you hit me on LinkedIn, maybe I'm out at a business dinner and I get a LinkedIn message on my phone. I'm like, oh wow, LinkedIn's more interesting than email. Let's see what's going on here. So first we integrate email LinkedIn. So how it works is we hit them with a personalized message as soon as they positively reply to email. So the way that this funnel works is, I'm never an advocate for spam. So I don't want to just blast people with like the whole barrage off rip. So what I'd rather do is get their interest via email, then increase the conversion percentage that way through this strategy. So as soon as they reply positively to my email, we'll add on LinkedIn to connect to them to say like, hey, do you remember a conversation over email about your 1,000 free leads? And then now, not even the point of trying to book them on LinkedIn. That's not the point. The point is email's black and white text. So when they come to me and then they see, all right, now this is what this lad looks like. Here's the message once again, average 20 plus new sales opportunities per month with AI and channel outreach. I have a nice banner. Start scrolling through my profile, see my about, see my services, what I do, my face, my posting. Maybe you want to go check out the website. What does book an appointment do? Oh, this brings me to dulce.io. What is this? Wow, here's a VSL. Here's how it all works. Here's the case studies and all this, and that. It just increases your likelihood rather than just being an email and being, oh, what is it? Plus, the majority of people, the minute that you go ahead and reply to your email, they're going to look you up. Yeah, there you go. There's LinkedIn. There's YouTube. And you're just going to understand that, wow, when they look you up, what shows up? If nothing is here about you, then that's a problem. All right, same thing with images, right? Same thing, got pictures of me, videos of me. I have genuinely no idea where LinkedIn pulled this photo from, but I'm there, all right? So the idea is that, again, you go through and you make sure that you are popping up here. And this is why content's your biggest advocate, man. I'll even showcase to you best email verification tool, and I guarantee you my video is somewhere in the suggested. Yeah, look at that right there. Top 5 email verification tools for 2026. Even I was Googling this before. How to switch back to Apollo 1.0 filters. There you go. Why Apollo's 2.0 filter matters more than ever, Alex Wong. So like again, this video is now going on a year old now, but if somebody comes here and wants to watch it, then they got me going over what they want to learn. So I didn't mean to get sidetracked, but content's really important is what I'm trying to say. Now we hit them up with a voice AI call, and this isn't your generic press one, speak to blah, blah, blah. This is a custom developed voice AI agent through Visionary AI that can call these leads and capture their attention when they've expressed interest in learning more. And this is a pattern interrupt because, again, most people don't call their leads. If you don't have voice AI, that's fine. Get your team to call them. Like, just call them. If you have our B2B, it's a tool you could use to see your website visitors. Call your website visitors. Put them in a workflow. You know, it doesn't hurt saying like, hey, I noticed you were checking out our pricing page. Do you have any questions on anything? But how do you know that? You know what I mean? It's just like adding an extra bit of it. Yeah, I'm just curious. I mean, like, guys don't have any solo beginner plans. Like, oh, we don't present it on our page because most people opt in to go for the pro plan, but I'm just curious. We do have a starter. Would you be interested in learning more? Something like that. I'm just saying. But the point being is, again, we want to hear that human-like pitch within 30 seconds. It's about capturing the interest as soon as possible, and I'll go over that and coordinating our time. And then this voice AI agent knows the entire email history, knows exactly what you asked, knows exactly what I pitched, and it builds the conversation off of that. And I've closed 12K deals off of 20 calls with this, right? So just start small. Start with those interested leads. Add SMS here for urgency. So if anybody doesn't pick up the phone, I just say like, hey, John, Alexander here, just try to respond to this, and I'll call you back in 5 if they don't answer. We've seen 20% higher response rates with these SMS nudges, and I just send them one. I don't blow people up. And Link. If you don't know what Link is, it's similar to a platform like SendBlue. Link has an iMessage integration where they get you a number and send you a nice blue text, right? Because people like blue text, so cater to what they want. According to timing, you want to aim to add a 5 to 10 minute response time across all channels for our leads. And I kid you not, I keep repeating this, but I promise you, the faster you reply to your leads is going to make you more money. That's what it is. So use your automations, whatever tool, RevReply, shout out to them. If you're in Agency Ignition, once again, you get a big discount on here as well when you sign up with us. And this is an AI agent that automatically responds to all your emails and books them in automatically in your calendar. It's pretty fascinating. What'd you say? You said I keep talking about Agency Ignition, but you don't know what it is? Oh, well, let's take a look. If you haven't heard of what Agency Ignition is, then you are missing out. Agency Ignition is my platform exclusively for agency owners and lead gen guys like us who are looking to scale, grow, and use the tools and discounts that we have internal access to be able to get more leads and make more money for their agency. So if you're unaware, the bulk of the bread and butter is going to be in your tools. This isn't some course. This is a utility for you to use to grow your agency. You get access to things such as our market research tool. You could write our copywriter, which has been trained on millions of emails. You could format job names, company names. You can scrape tools like LinkedIn, Google My Business, Store Leads, Built With, Clutch, and the list goes on. Any type of platform you want, we can most likely scrape it here. And if not, drop it in the suggestion channel and I'll build it out. And we also have partnered with these lovely companies right here. So if you are looking to save a quick buck, which just over time it will, right? We got platforms like HeyReach, RevApply, SendSpark, Cheap Inboxes. You also get a discount, which I've forfeited my commission to allow you to have by being inside of our tool. So with that being said, go check it out. There's also 50 plus hours of me teaching cold outbound and business if you'd like to take a look. 7-day free trial. Doesn't hurt whatsoever. You could cancel anytime, or you can refund anytime. For some reason, just tell me like, Alex, I want a refund. I don't care. I just want one. Fine, have it, But most people in here are finding value. We do coaching calls 3 times a week. I'll see you guys in there. Now, finally, point number 5, you want to make sure that you are testing and optimizing with real metrics. So basically, when you have data come into the table, right, a lot of people, we always preach about this focus on optimizing, A/B testing. We always talk about it, right? But a lot of times in practice, what I see is that it doesn't really follow suit. So what I mean by that is when you are creating these variants, you want to make sure you look at each one and then understand exactly why something works and why it doesn't work. And I've literally turned some campaigns from 15% to 15% plus positive reply rates by tracking metrics on each variant and then just adjusting as winners arise. And I think the most important thing is, again, don't overcomplicate this. Keep it simple. If this one gets significantly more positive replies than the others, well, that's your answer. And even if they don't, or let's say you're struggling not to get results, then review what the not interested say. See why people aren't interested or what's not hitting the mark and remove that hesitation. So once we got the scale working, like I said, you want to aim for a book meeting roughly every 1,000 emails sent. That's a very good KPI to keep in mind. If you're doing that, you're knocking it out the park. If you're below a 2% reply rate or 5 to 10 positive reply rate, you probably want to rethink your offer and list, especially if you're cracking under 1% reply rates. That's going to be a account issue, right? So that's important to keep up. Now, A and B testing, I'll give you like 2 examples here from an offer. So split test 2 offers from, like, for example, noticed company sells chandelier online with 1K plus products. Buyers usually don't hesitate because of price alone. They hesitate because they're worried about making the wrong decision. Versus, I made a short loom walking through company product pages, looking at where $1,000 to $8,000 buyer starts to hesitate before they commit to buying, right? So that'd be an exact thing from a current client campaign that we're testing. And this has actually got us a 20x interested rate. Testing these call to actions, like, want me to send it over the video? Versus, is that something you've already optimized, right? It's just the ease of yes. How can we easily get them to say yes? And then you track the results weekly or even our daily and then find the winners for that. So when you monitor these opportunities, your important aspect is that open rates aren't really interesting. Vanity metrics don't generate you success. So, for example, with open rates, tracking comes from HTML code, right? It basically puts a 1x1 pixel inside of your email. For anything else, for interested leads, conversions, and things of that nature, the only thing that really ends up mattering is the booked meetings. A lot of people focus on reply rates and so many things like that, but it all is vanity. What actually matters is the emails that are being marked as interested and those who are booking. And again, make sure to change your copy and things like that fast, because don't wait, a week after the campaign, be like, oh wow, got nothing. Where you could have made an adjustment midweek for success. All right. Now, speed to everything is the most important thing. You use your data to act and to give you the insights on what you need. So there you have it, everyone. That's exactly how we take these shifts and set you up to win with cold email in 2026. I know it's a little bit of a longer one, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. It was value packed. And again, even if you have a great email or if you have a crappy email and your inbox setup is great or wrong, your campaigns will still fail. So it's kind of one of those things where you have to have every piece of the pie dial in along the way and not forget about one of them, and use a little checklist to keep yourself tagged along. So if you want to fix that, and check out my next video where I break down what's changed at Google and how to keep replies coming in, link is in the description.